Hello and welcome back to the Olympic Oval for more 1,000 meter action this Saturday afternoon. Up next we have the Oval International Ladies racing the 1,000 meter. 2.5 laps starting on the far side of the ice, finishing on the home stretch. 1,000 meter is the only race which starts and finishes in the middle of the straightaways. We have 20 pairs of ladies racing this Oval International 1,000 meter. First up, Brooklyn McDougald from Alberta in the inner lane. Altan Ochir Zul from Mongolia in the outer. As the skaters line up on the line for the start of the 1,000 meter pairs. Clean start for both skaters as they skate off the line. This is a well-matched pair. Both skaters have personal bests of 121. They come through 200 meters in. Opening split times, McDougald with the lead, 19.4. Zul, 19.8. As they come around on the backstretch, crossing over, the skaters change lanes every lap. Brooklyn McDougald still with the lead. 400 meters remaining. 30.3 her lap time. 31.5 for Zul. If she wants a personal best, she will have to keep this next lap under 32 seconds. The time to beat, 1:21.43. She comes around the last corner. Brooklyn McDougald leading her pair. To the line, swinging both arms. Her final time, 1:22.70. Zul from Mongolia, 1:24.50. So the time to beat after the first pair, 1:22.70. Coming up next, two Canadian skaters, Alexis Scott in the inner lane from Manitoba. Et du Québec, Caroline Gingras. So Scott and Gingras line up at the start. The skaters start staggered. That is because in the 1,000 meters, the skaters race an odd number of corners. So the skater who starts in the inner lane starts behind the skater starting in the outer lane, so that when they come out of the corner, they will have skated the same distance. And so through 200 meters, Gingras in the outer lane has the lead, 19.6 her opening split. Alexis Scott, 19.9. Both skaters chasing the initial time set by Brooklyn McDougald. The time to beat, 1:22.70. So keep an eye on those split times on the right-hand side of the screen. As they come around, Gingras. Gingras mène son père avec 400 mètres à faire. Her lap time, 30.2. 30.0 for Alexis Scott. So Alexis Scott gaining ground. Both skaters just behind the time set by Brooklyn McDougald. So it will be a close race here as we come to the line. Gingras is fading as Alexis Scott charges up the inside with a solid finish. Here comes Scott to the line, her final time. 1:21.56. That is good for the top of the leaderboard. 1:22.07 for Caroline Gingras. So after two pairs, it's Scott, Gingras McDougald. Up next, two skaters who could challenge for that lead. In the inner lane from BC, Sarah Spence, and in the outer lane from Saskatchewan, Gabrielle Sanson. Gabrielle Sanson's personal best is a 1:21 flat. So she would like nothing better than to break that personal best here this afternoon at the Oval. We saw some fast times in the Fall World Cup Selections 500. So we know that the conditions are right. Both skaters opening 19.4, tight race through 200 meters. Spence on the inner, Sanson on the outer as they cross over onto the backstretch, and they will change lanes. And so these skaters, as they come around the corner, will have one lap remaining. Spence carving out a slight lead through 600 meters. Her lap time, 29.74. That's the fastest lap time we've seen yet today, as she will go over the top of her pair on the backstretch. Sanson crossing over behind her. Sanson's on a good one too. She is ahead of the time set by Alexis Scott. So two good races here from Spence and Sanson, but Spence has the lead into the finish line. Her final time, 1:20.93. Sanson 1:22.20. So Sanson losing speed in the last lap, and she will finish fourth. Spence takes over the top of the leaderboard. As we have a look at our next pair, this is Alexandra Yankulescu in the inner lane. In the outer lane, Courtney Schmear. Two skaters will line up. These two were paired together in the 500 meters this morning. Yankulescu got the better of the race. Courtney Schmear, however, setting a personal best. So both skaters on point as they come into the first corner. Expect this to be a quick race. Yankulescu, a 500-meter specialist. We'll see if she can hang on in the latter portions of the race as she takes the opener. 18.6, her opening split. That's the fastest one of the afternoon. Courtney Schmear, 19.3, also very quick. Courtney Schmear recently crossing over from short track, where she skated with the Canadian team in Montreal. She's making the big switch to long track this year as Alex Yankulescu leads Schmear through 600 meters. Her lap time, 28.8, 28.7 for Schmear. So Schmear is starting to gain ground as she will come out through the inside, manages to cross over safely, and let's see if she can come around the outside as Alex is fading a little bit. Let's see if she can hold off her pair. Schmear and Yankulescu coming to the line. Yankulescu will finish up. Her time, 1:18.21. Schmear with a final time of 1:19.35. So those two now take over first and second place. Schmear setting a personal best of over 1 second. She gets a high five from her coach, Mark Wild, on that backstretch. So good race for Courtney Schmear. Yankulescu also having a good race. As we look at our next pair, this is Taylor White on the inner lane from Ontario, and Rose La Liberté Roy à l'extérieur du Québec. Les patineurs sont partis dans le premier virage. Skaters are off. coming through 200 meters. Taylor White has the lead. Her opening split 19.3, 19.6 for La Liberté Roi. They cross over on the backstretch. La Liberté Roi will be chasing Taylor White through the rest of the race, as White will come around on the outer with the lead with 1 lap to go. Taylor White, lap time 29.5, 30.3 for Liberté Roi. So Taylor White will go over the top of Rose Liberté Roi, coming around with 200 meters to go. So Taylor White is right now sitting in third after 600 meters. Let's see if she can keep up the pace. She's on pace to finish right behind Courtney Schmear and just ahead of Taylor Spence. Does she have the legs at the end of the race? Her final time, 1:20.79, and yes, it is good for third place. Rose La Liberté Roi finit avec un temps de 1:23.00. So Taylor White with a fast race. She finished up with a 1:20.79. So Taylor White with that time skated a big personal best, 2 seconds off her previous time. As we look at the next pair, this is Danielle Wallisch and Connie Capac from Alberta. As these skaters are into the first corner, the Battle of Alberta here as they come around. 800 meters to go. Capac has the lead. Her opening split, 19.9, just under 20 seconds. 20.3 for Wallisch, as Capac will try and charge around this outside and get a draft on the backstretch. And she won't sit in. She's just going to try and blast right by as Capac crosses over the inside. Almost beats her to the corner. Let's see who has the legs in the last 400 meters as they come around Bell lap. 400 meter split times. 30.9 for both skaters. So Wallisch starting to gain some ground here. See if Wallisch has a strong finish. So Wallisch with the white armband looking solid on that backstretch, and she has Capac in her sights. Did Capac bank enough time at the beginning? So they will come out neck and neck. This will be a tight finish. And it looks like Danielle Wallisch will take it at the line. No, she won't. Equal times, 1:23.31 for both skaters, tied at the line. What a race. And we will go to the photo finish. It is a tie to the 1,000th of a second. So even the photo finish couldn't sort it out. As we move on to the next pair. Great race in that last one between Danielle Wallisch and Connie Capac. It was tight right to the end. Capac setting a personal best. And this is Kayla McNeely in the inner lane, Ciara Johnson in the outer. So McNeely with the white armband, Johnson with the red armband. Johnson leads the way through the first 200 meters. Her opening split time, 20.6. McNeely, 21.2. Ciara Johnson and Kayla McNeely both chasing low 124s. They'd like nothing better than to break that 124 barrier. They're looking to beat Altan Ochir Zul. So let's keep an eye on those split times. McNeely and Johnson through After 1.5 laps, they are on to the final corner now. As McNeely is going to try and charge up the inside and catch Ciara Johnson on the outer. And it looks like she will. Kayla McNeely with a strong finish. Her final time, 1:25.62, 1:26.05 for Ciara Johnson. As we are now moving on to our 8th pair. This is Roseann Grenier du Québec. In the inner lane, Jenna Mirth from Alberta in the outer. A well-matched pair. Les temps personnels des deux athlètes, 1:25.54, 1:25.60. Donc ça va être une proche course. Should be a close race. As they are off the line and into the first corner. This is Grenier and Mirth. So Mirth off to an early lead through the first 200. Her opening split 20:59, 21:1 for Roseann Grenier. Both skaters will be looking to match or better the time set by Kayla McNeely. She finished 13th. So keep an eye on the ranking at the far bottom corner of your screen. If these skaters can be 13th or better throughout this race, they will be on pace for personal best. So both skaters just falling off pace right now. Roseann Grenier leading her pair 31:16. Jenna Mirth 31:76, opening her first 400-meter lap. As they cross over the backside, Grenier looking strong. Elle entre dans le dernier virage. C'est Grenier qui va prendre la course avec 50 mètres à faire. Roseann Grenier à la ligne. Son temps final, 1:24.97. Jenna Mirth, 1:26.15. And so with that, Roseann Grenier sets a big personal best. Over a second off of, or over half a second off of her previous best time. Belle course par Roseann Grenier. Dans la prochaine course, in the next race, in the inner lane, from Ontario, we have Olivia Scott. And in the outer lane, du Québec, c'est Namaste Harris Gauthier. And they're off the line. Scott and Harris Gauthier. So Olivia Scott is going to be looking to stay with Harris Gauthier. Harris Gauthier's personal best is a 1:20.67. She will be aiming for the top of the leaderboard, trying to beat the time set by Alexis Scott. So her opening split, 19:77. Olivia Scott, 20.9 as they enter the corner. As they come around, they will have 1 lap to go in this 2.5 lap race. It's always in the final lap where the legs start to fall apart. They tighten up. It's hard to push. As Namaste Harris Gauthier, her lap time under 30 seconds, 29:13. She is currently sitting in 4th after 600 meters. What kind of finish can she put together? If she can maintain the pace, she's going to be looking at a mid to high 1:20. That will be close to her personal best. She's still looking strong around the final corner as she comes to the line. Namaste Harris Gauthier, 1:19.55. 55, c'est un temps personnel. Personal record 1:19.55. Personal best for Namaste Harris Gauthier. 1:24.15 for Olivia Scott, also skating a personal best. So she chased her pair all the way to a PB. Both skaters with big PBs in that last race. The ice is fast here at the Olympic Oval as we move on to our 10th pair. Amanda Mitchell in the inner lane and Anna Bourgeois in the outer. Clean start off the line as they enter the first corner. It looked like Anna Bourgeois in the outer lane got a good jump on the gun, and she has a slight lead in through the first 200 meters, but Amanda Mitchell gaining ground, and they're neck and neck, 21-1, 21-2 for both skaters. As they come around, this should be a competitive race. Both skaters with nearly identical personal best, 126.48 and 126.49. So these skaters looking to catch up as they go around. One lap to go. Their lap times 32.0 for Bourgeois, 32.35 for Mitchell. If they wish to break their personal bests, Mitchell and Bourgeois will need to pick it up a little as they come in through to the finish line. To Amanda Mitchell on the inner lane, 126.92, just off her PB. Anna Bourgeois, 127.92. As we move on to the next pair. In the inner lane, a skater from British Columbia, Kirsten Hagen. In the outer lane from Ontario, Jasmine Chase. Another well-matched pair, both skaters looking for mid to low 126s. So the time to beat for these two skaters is Jenna Mirth's 18th place time of 126.14. So keep an eye on the ranking, bottom right-hand side of the screen, as they come around the first 200 meters. In the inner lane, this is Kirsten Hagen, who is leading the way. Her opening split, 21.22, 21.54 for Jasmine Chase. So Kirsten Hagen keeping pace through 200 meters. See if she has the legs to keep it up. 1,000 meter, always an interesting crossover distance between pure sprinters and middle distance skaters. Some skaters take it off the line fast and fade at the end of the race. Other skaters can't start quite as fast, but they tend to have more juice at the end. As Jasmine Chase, after losing the opener, has taken the lead back from Kirsten Hagen, 31.94 her split time. Kirsten Hagen, 32.95. 200 meters remaining. This is Jasmine Chase in the outer lane, leading the way. And she will skate right to the line, her final time. 126.51. A personal best for Jasmine Chase by 0.04 of a second. 127.43 for Kirsten Hagen. Up next in the inner lane, we have Ashley Hanna from Manitoba, and in the outer lane, Cassidy Peterson from Alberta. As they get ready for the gun. Speed skating, the commands from the starter are go to the start, ready, and then the gun goes off. They come through the first corner, leading the way in the outer lane. This is Cassidy Peterson. Her opening split, 21.47, 21.83 for her pair. Come around in the backstretch, and they will change lanes. Peterson switching from the outer to the inner. It's charging hard. She's going to try and beat her pair to the corner. As Hanna is trying to gain some ground now, and she's starting to catch up through 600 meters. Cassidy Peterson still has the lead, but Hanna gaining ground. Split times, 32.6 for Hanna. Peterson, 32.7. So it should be an interesting finish. These skaters grit their teeth into the final 200 meters. Their coaches will be yelling at them to stay low and keep driving. As they come around through the final corner, Hanna completing the comeback, and she will take it at the line. Her final time, 1:28.16. 1:28.67 for Cassidy Peterson. Good for 23rd and 24th. As we move on to our 13th pair, this is Lilly Weidman from Ontario in the inner lane and Sylvie Lloyd from Manitoba in the outer. Pardon me, Sylvie Lloyd from British Columbia in the outer. The skaters are at the line and they are off for this 1,000-meter race. 2.5 laps to go. They will change lanes twice throughout this race. Finish on the same lane that they started. So keep an eye on those armbands if you want to know who's who and in which lane they are. White armband started in the inner lane. Red armband starts in the outer lane. As Sylvie Lloyd in the outer lane leads the way through 200 meters. Her opening split time, 20.9, 21.2 for Lilly Weidman. They come around on the backstretch, crossing over. Sylvie Lloyd will be trying to maintain her lead as Lilly Weidman coming around this outer lane with lots of speed. 1 lap to go. Can Lloyd hold her off as Weidman takes the lead? 400 meters remaining. 33.1 her split time. 33.7 for Lloyd. Let's see if Weidman can come around over the top of Lloyd, or will she tuck in behind? And it looks like she will cross over in front of her pair into the final corner. Lilly Weidman looking good into this last 200 meters. And she will come to the line all on her own. Her final time, 1:29.63, manages to stay on her feet. Lilly Weidman wins this race, 1:31.95 for her pair, Sylvie Lloyd, at the line. That was our 13th pair. Up next, we have pair 14, Molly Johnson from Alberta in the inner lane. She's racing Emma Javra from Manitoba in the outer. And the skaters are off. This is Johnson and Javra. Molly Johnson chasing a personal best of 1:29.05. Emma Javra's personal best is just faster, 1:28.80, so well-matched pair. But through 200 meters, it's all Molly Johnson who's rocketing to an early lead. 21.16 her opening split, 21.75 for Emma Javra as they come around on the backstretch to cross over for the first time. And they're into the corner. When they come out of this corner, there will be 400 meters remaining. Bell lap here for both skaters. As Molly Johnson continues to lead, her lap time 33.51, 33.69 for Emma Javra. So Javra's got a bit of work to do to catch up. Let's see if she has the legs to gain ground. And there's a crossover issue on the back end. As Molly Johnson comes around over the top of Emma Javra. Javra had to stand up to let her by. In long track speed skating, the skater coming from the outer lane has the right of way. That's why Javra had to let up. As Johnson will finish up her final time, 1:31.05. Javra, 1:32.48. So once again, the skater in the outer lane has the right of way on the crossover straightaway. That is because they are technically in the lead, having traveled a further distance. The skater in the inner lane is required to make room or let up to allow the skater in the outer lane to pass. Very difficult sometimes for skaters in that inner lane to decide whether to take a corner wide or when to stand up. Take some practice. Never get it right on the first try. They come through in the inner lane. This is Danielle Dumuchel and Chloe Beauchesne. Dumuchel leaning down and touching up her ankle guard as she come around that inner lane. She still led the opener, 20:44, her opening split. Chloe Beauchesne, 21:85. So Danielle Dumuchel rocketing ahead. Her personal best is a 1:23.31. Beauchesne's personal best, 1:29.10. So Beauchesne has her work cut out for her. She has a pair to chase throughout the whole race. It's often very helpful. Usually a good opportunity to race against someone who's faster than you. As Dumuchel continues to lead through 600 meters. Her lap time, 31:41. If she maintains this pace, she'll be close to a 1:24. Let's see how she finishes up. Danielle Dumuchel at the line, 1:24.52. That's good for 15th place. And her pair, Chloe Beauchesne, will come to the line. Her final time, 1:32.55. We have 5 pairs remaining in this ladies' 1,000 meter. Stephanie Spicer will start in the inner lane in the upcoming pair. Samara Thu right behind her in the outer lane, or right ahead of her, I should say. So this is Spicer from Alberta, Thu from British Columbia. And a bit of movement on the line in that inner lane from Stephanie Spicer. Starter deemed it was okay, so they are off to a clean start. Heading into that corner, trying to build up their speed. And they'll come out of the corner in the inner lane. This is Stephanie Spicer, 21:2. That's a fast opener for Stephanie Spicer. Samara Thu, 23:46. These skaters come onto the backstretch and cross over for the first time. This is Spicer with the white armband leading the way. So these skaters staying low. Good weight transfer. They come around bell lap. Stephanie Spicer continues to lead. Her lap time, 32:96. Samara Thu, 36:04. Stephanie Spicer is chasing a personal best of 1:29.57. Let's see if she can beat it. She's on pace after 600. Was her last lap fast enough? It looks like it was. That's a personal best for Stephanie Spicer. 0.2 off her previous mark. Samara Thu with a 1:37.35. We'll finish up behind her. As we now move on to the next pair, this is Jessica Conrad in the inner lane. In the outer lane, Hanna Brunn. As the starter calls these two skaters to the line for this 2.5 lap race. Jessica Conrad chasing a personal best of 1:33.05 as they are off the line now and in through the first 50 meters. The short straightaway before the long corner. They try and build their speed. You always want to watch for the stride length of the skaters. Through the first 200 meters, the strides will be a little bit shorter as they try and pick up speed. And then throughout the rest of the race, they should have long and strong strides. The goal in speed skating is not to be moving the legs all the time, but to do some gliding to save your energy and use the efficiency of the ice. Watch their feet as they get into the last 200 meters. That's when the legs start to tighten up, the strides will shorten, and the skaters will slow down. That is inevitable in the 1,000 meter. The strategy is to skate out as fast as you can and just try to hang on as Conrad trails Brunn through the first 200 meters. Brunn's opening or first 400 meter lap time, 33.62. Conrad, 34.6. So Jessica Conrad, her personal best, 1:33.05. She'll be looking to beat that. But Brunn will take the race, and she will cross the line with a final time of 1:30.96. That is a 2-second personal best for Hanna Brunn. Great time for her. Jessica Conrad will finish the 1:32.73. That is also a personal best. So two great races from Conrad and Brunn as we now move on to our 18th pair. 3 pairs to go in the ladies oval international 1,000 meter race. Stay tuned throughout the rest of the day. At 3 o'clock, we will have the men's and women's Fall World Cup selections for this same distance, the 1,000 meter. As we see another 2 skaters off the line here. This is Callie Friesen from Saskatchewan in the inner, and Zuzana Nedelyakova from Alberta on the outer. As they come out of the corner, it's Nedelyakova with the lead. Her opening split, 21-14, 22-2 for Friesen. Callie Friesen chasing a personal best of 1:35.88. The ice is faster at the Olympic Oval. These skaters looking for PBs, especially the young skaters. Every competition is a great opportunity for improvement. And Nedelyakova continues to lead her pair. Her personal best is a 1:31.34. Let's see if she's on pace to beat that here today. If she keeps this up, she is on pace for a big personal best, trying to break that 1:30 mark. As Zuzana Nedelyakova in the outer lane will strive to the line. Her final time, 1:29.10. She breaks 1:30 for the first time ever. 2 seconds off her personal best as Callie Friesen will cross 1:35.31. That is a small personal best for Callie Friesen. Any personal best is always a great race. So 2 PBs in that last race for both skaters. As we move on to the next one, Danica Grierson from Manitoba on the inner, and Emma Varden from Ontario on the outer. And they line up on the line for this 2.5 lap race. And they're off. Grierson on the inner, Varden on the outer through 50 meters. Emma Varden's personal best is a 1:40.74. So she is on the cusp of a big personal best, breaking that 140 mark. And Varden leads her pair through the first 200. 23.3 for Varden. Grierson, 23.4. Danica Grierson's chasing a personal best of 1:37.89. See if she can do it, as she is starting to trail Emma Varden, who is on a great race. Her lap time, 35.88. And if Emma Varden keeps up this pace, she will smash her personal best as she comes around. This is where things get challenging though in this last 200 meters. Grierson coming around on the inner. And to the line, Emma Varden will finish it up in the lead with a final time of 1:36.37, 4 seconds off her personal best. Danica Grierson, 1:40.19. And that brings us to our final pair. This is the 20th pair of ladies 1,000 meters this morning. In the inner lane from Saskatchewan, Brianne Sipowinick. And in the outer lane, Martina Antife from BC. So Brianne Sipowinick chasing a personal best of 1:38.61. Martina Antife chasing a personal best of 1:37.26. So this is a well-matched pair, both skaters with similar PBs. And it is indeed close through 200 meters. 21-1 for both skaters. Anyone's race at this point. Who has the legs through the laps? As they cross over on the backstretch. Antife crossing into the inner. Sipowinick crossing into the outer. These skaters with great opening splits, well ahead of pace. Looking for PBs, they are still neck and neck. 34.7 for Sipowinick. Antife, 34.9. Anyone's race at this point. If they can keep up this pace, they are looking at a low 1:30 mark, so several seconds off their PB. See what happens in this last corner. As Sipowinick is looking strong, crossing over into the inner lane, and she's carving out a lead ahead of Antife. Both skaters driving to the line as Brianne Sipowinick will kick for the line her final time. 1:33.97. Big personal best for her. 5 seconds. Martina Antife with a 2-second personal best. So great times at the bottom of the order here in the Oval International 1,000 meter. But it was the skaters near the beginning who set the fastest times. Alexandra Inculescu on her birthday skating a 1:18.21. Courtney Schmear with a personal best, first time under 120, 1:19.35. The next competition, she will likely be racing in the Canadian Olympic trials. These times should qualify her for that competition. Namaste Harris-Gauthier rounds off the top three, also with a personal best, 1:19.55. So stay tuned for more great racing. We have some of the best 1,000-meter skaters in the world up next in the Canadian Fall World Cup selection competition. Ladies and men's 1,000 meters coming up at 3 o'clock. Stay tuned.